Ever notice how Netflix never lets you stop at one episode? It's always 2, 3, 4, maybe even an entire season in one go. This hidden algorithm that Netflix uses has powered its explosive growth. Now, imagine your YouTube channel worked the same way. If you designed your social media platforms like Netflix with binge-worthy series, emotional hooks, cliffhangers, the whole works, you'd get people watching for a lot longer. And the best part would be, you don't have to post daily. Netflix has 7 hidden tricks that they're using to keep you watching all night. And I found these all over the top creators of YouTube's channels, and I've personally tested them myself on my previous channel, which is already blown up. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what those hidden tricks are and the frameworks that these top creators are using to blow up their channels. But first, hey, my name is Dave and I've grown a channel to over 110,000 subscribers, and I'm starting again from zero right here using this Netflix inspired system to show you that content is not luck, it's strategy. And that means the first thing you need to understand is point number 1, the binging principle. The fastest way to grow content going into 2026 is to get people to binge it, the same way they binge Netflix. Because here's the deal, social media platforms reward you for the more time you can get someone to spend on their platforms. If you get 1 video view, well done, you got a view. But if you get someone to watch 2, 3, 4, 5 of your videos in a row, well, that's when you start to get the attention of the algorithm, and that's where the organic growth magic really starts to happen. And not only that, but you're also getting your viewer to spend hours in your world and build real trust with you. This isn't just theory. YouTube literally tracks something called session time. The longer your content keeps someone on the platform, the more you're going to get rewarded and promoted. That's why people who make binge-worthy series are 10 times more likely to grow than people making one-off uploads. The best part is you don't need to post daily. You just need a plan, a roadmap that connects your videos together like episodes in a Netflix series. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. Because every social platform works off the same principle, but let's look at it from YouTube's perspective, right? Every single time you upload, the social platforms are analyzing everything, and they're asking 2 main questions. Number 1 is, can you hold the attention in this video? And number 2 is, can you guide viewers into the next? If you can answer these 2 questions successfully, well, YouTube says, hey, this person is getting people to stay on the platform. I should push their content even more. Netflix built its entire empire on this principle. 1 episode ends and the next starts before you can even think about it. That's not an accident, that's engineered binging behavior. When you can replicate this, well, YouTube becomes your business partner, because if you're leveraging organic growth and that content is actually driving in sales, well, that's an organic sales funnel that's working for you. That's not someone just swiping past every time they see your video. That's somebody spending hours in your world with you solving their problems over and over again. Because they're absorbing your frameworks, your stories, your proof of results, you have the opportunity to help your ideal viewer and client walk the path that you might have already walked and teach them how to do it quicker and provide as much value as possible. And at the end of the day, that makes them want to reach out and know how they can actually work with you. This all comes down to the binging principle. If you can get somebody to binge your content, whether it be on short form platforms or on long form platforms like YouTube, the binging principle is exactly the same. And here's a little secret. 1 viral video might give you a bunch of exposure, but a binge-worthy series, well, that's how you get steady organic growth. And that's essentially the missing link. You need predictable videos that provide value to your audience over and over again so that they spend time binging your content. And that begs the question, how do you create a binge-worthy series on YouTube and not just a random bunch of one-off uploads, something that feels like a season with episodes, right? And that brings us directly into point number 2, how to create and how to design your own content Netflix series. All right, so now you understand the secret to growth is binging. How do you create this Netflix style series? Well, step 1 is making sure that your videos connect. If your videos don't connect, people don't binge. If people don't binge, you're not going to get promoted. The best creators don't just make random videos, they build networks. Each video is an episode that pushes your storyline forward, so when you stack your videos together, they stop looking random and more like a structured curriculum that your ideal audience can follow step by step. Netflix spends billions of dollars keeping people hooked by planning out this viewer journey in advance. And the top YouTubers do exactly the same. They plan out their series, their videos, their sequence, their arcs, their playlists, everything. And if you want your content to succeed, well, you need to put a bit of thought into it. Here's the key takeaway. Stop thinking in one-off uploads. Think season 1, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and that's how you start to create this Netflix style series. For a bit more of a practical takeaway, here's the framework you can use in order to apply this to your content. Step 1 is to design your seasons or network around the ideal transformation your ideal audience already wants. Let's say you're a professional video editor, right? You've already walked the journey of going from beginner to pro level editor. And if you had to teach someone to get from where you were to where you are now, and solve the biggest pain points you can along the way, well, that's how you'd map it out. It could go a little something like this, right? So season 1 could be the foundations of editing. Season 2 could be tools and strategies. Season 3 could be advanced editing. Season 4 could be how to find high-end clients that you can edit for, right? And now this gives you a whole curriculum that your ideal viewer is going to walk and build trust with you over time as they watch. And step 2 is break that transformation down into logical steps. Each step becomes an episode. Episode 1 is which software works best. Episode 2, how to cut and clip your videos. Episode 3, how to add sound editing with AI, and so on and so forth. Step 3 is connecting videos with cliffhangers. Using a cliffhanger at the end of each video to make sure that your ideal audience watches the next. The best way to do this is just set up the next logical problem that they're going to have to solve. Let's use an example just so you have a better understanding. So let's look at the example we've been running with, right? So let's say that breaks down the best video editing software out there. But if you can't cut and clip properly, well, you're wasting time and money. If you want to know how to cut and clip faster and save yourself 15 minutes minimum per video, you need to watch this video right here. See what I did there? Well, that's a great example of a cliffhanger. Easy enough? Make a lot of sense? That's all you got to do is set up the problem, the next logical problem that your audience might be facing, and it leaves them with a cliffhanger and incentive to go watch that video next. Here's another upside to the whole Netflix style series. It removes the stress of what do I post next? You have an entire map laid out, just follow the plan, just like your audience will. But here's the thing, even the best structure in the entire world doesn't matter if the algorithm doesn't know where to push your videos in the first place. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine Netflix and YouTube were essentially blind. Every single time you upload a video, YouTube doesn't watch it with its eyeballs the same way you and I do. It analyzes all of the inputs you are giving, the title, description, even the transcript of the video. All of your inputs, it deeply analyzes those, understands them, and then makes a highly educated decision of who it should show that piece of content to in the first place. And that means that if your signals are clear and consistent, YouTube will find your ideal audience. But if your signals are scattered and all over the show, well, you're going to get scattered views. Your job is simple. Tell YouTube exactly what your video is about and who should see it, and then do that in every season, in every episode. And at the end of the day, every single thing matters, from your titles, descriptions, even the transcripts of the videos nowadays. YouTube summarizes the transcript of your video so that it has a better idea of who it should be recommending that video to. Because the more concise and clear you can be with your inputs, the more concise and clear the algorithm can be with finding your ideal audience and recommending your videos. All right, so now that the algorithm can find your ideal audience, what kind of content should you be creating for them once they start arriving? Well, this actually sets us up perfectly into section number 4 of what makes Netflix so good and what are the key content pillars of success. There are 3 core types of content that can keep your content healthy and bingeable: growth, authority, and authenticity content, right? And if you can blend all 3 of these together, well, you'll pull in new people, show that you can help, and build trust all at once. The mistake most people make is that they lean too heavily on just one pillar. Some people only make growth content, which leaves you growing and expanding, but you don't look like an expert in your space. Or you might make authority and look like an expert, but nobody new is finding you, right? Just like a series that, with no variety, it ends up getting boring, a channel with one dimension can also fall flat. That's why every single season that you're creating in your network needs to have all 3 of these pillars in order to grow. So think about it like this. Number 1 is growth content. These are like Netflix trailers. These are videos going out there designed to get millions of eyeballs, something flashy, eye-catchy, to bring in people into your channel and get them excited to watch more. And next, authority content, well, that's like the payoff episodes. Those are where you're doing the big reveals or the advanced strategies. Essentially, showing that you're an expert in the space and that you can actually get the results that you say you can. An example might be, how I doubled my leads on YouTube in 90 days. Number 3 is authenticity content. These are the behind the scenes, the character development, or in layman's terms, the personal brand. This is where people get to know you, like you, and trust you, and maybe even root for you, where you share your struggles of how you achieved what you have and that hopefully people relate to. As myself, as an example, I just quit my full-time engineering job to start YouTube with 0 subscribers, and I'm kind of shitting myself. It's not an easy thing to do, but in 6 months' time, I'm taking a massive risk and chasing my dreams, and I hope that this inspires you to do the same. And prove to you also that this is an achievable thing if you can commit with the right strategy. Because at the end of the day, you do need these 3 types of content pillars in order to succeed. You need growth content that gets you new eyeballs and peoples into your world. You need authority content to prove you're an expert and that you can actually help. And authenticity to make people know, like, and trust you enough, to spend time in your world and keep them coming back. But all of that doesn't really matter if you're not solving the right problem. And that kind of sets us up perfectly for section 5 of why you should anchor your content to your audience's pain points. Think about your favorite Netflix series. You don't watch because every episode is random. You watch the entire season because it's built around one main conflict or storyline, right? And your YouTube content works exactly the same way. And what I mean by this is every single piece of content that you make should solve a specific problem that your ideal viewer and audience is pretty desperate to fix. Think about the editing example we gave earlier. Let's say your ideal viewer is a junior editor, right? Their main pain point might be that they want to become a full-time editor. That's their main overarching goal. So your entire series that you're creating is helping them go from junior all the way to advanced editor, right? Make sure every single piece of content ties back to your ideal audience's pain points. Netflix doesn't build a season on 10 unrelated ideas. They pick one storyline and then every single episode is a step towards resolving it, right? And that's how you need to think about your content if you want the right audience watching it. So here's the rule. Anchor your content to your audience's core pain points that they struggle with and then repeat it. Solve it in every single video, in every single season, in every single episode until they can't look away. To give you a quick example of what that looks like, I'm going to tell you what I've done with my content strategy, right? So I help entrepreneurs grow YouTube channels that drive more views, leads, and sales. And their biggest pain point is that they want leads and not just views. Every single one of my episodes I've made so far is anchored around that main core pain point. And here's how I've structured my current storyline to start with. Episode 1 is how to grow faster on social media. Episode 2 is social media as a dating app for your business. And episode 3 is the Netflix approach to content. One storyline, but different episodes. And at the end of the day, random content attracts random viewers. While pain point content, well, that attracts the exact people that your business exists to serve. Just like Netflix builds for fans of a genre, you're building for clients with a specific problem. Because at the end of the day, 100 views from the right audience that could actually convert into your business is way more valuable than 100,000 random viewers online that don't essentially mean anything. But here's the plot twist. Solving problems with logic isn't enough. If you truly want to get somebody to binge your entire season, you need emotion. And those are called the 3 emotional levers. And welcome to section 6, Netflix and emotion. Why do people actually binge watch a Netflix series, right? It's not just about the storyline, it's actually about the emotion that they feel while watching it. And the same reason and the same emotion that gets people hooked on a Netflix series is the same reason that's going to get them hooked on you and your content. And there are 3 main emotional levers that you can pull in your content: relatability, inspiration, and proof. And if you mix these into your series, well, you don't just inform people, you move them. If we think about it from Netflix perspective, every single season that they create has characters you can relate to, storylines that inspire you, and those big proof moments, those big payoffs at the end that make you feel those big overwhelming feelings of emotion. So let's break it down. Number 1 is relatability. Every single Netflix series has the character that you're like, that's me, I can relate to that person. Relatability says, I get you because I was you. Number 2 is inspiration. Netflix has those big hero moments, the big payoff that makes you want to cheer and really feel good. And in your content, in your series, well, this is sharing your vision and what's possible. Inspiration says, if they can do it, I can do it too. It helps people take action. Finally, every series has a payoff, the big win at the end where you see the plan unfold or the enemy being defeated. In your content, this is showing proof of real results of what you've actually attained, yours or your clients, to show that the systems you're putting out there are actually working. And when you can blend all 3 of these emotional levers, relatability, inspiration, and proof, well, that's when you get people to feel something. And when they feel something, that's when they're most likely to binge. Now you know how to hook people with emotion. And we're going to move straight into section 7, the 12 p.m. cliffhanger. And this is exactly what I think is the most important part of creating a binge-worthy series and why people watch just one more episode every time. All right, so think about the last time you finished a Netflix episode. Right at the end, they leave you with that cliffhanger, that one that leaves you on the edge of the seat going, oh, now I need to know exactly what's happening. That's not an accident. That is 100% planned. Every video you make needs to give your audience one main thing, a reason to watch the next episode. That's what keeps that binge alive. Netflix has mastered this. They never ever leave you at a dead end. There's always another place to go. There's always the cliffhanger, a plot twist, something keeping you on the edge of your seat that's going, I just watch one more episode. And this is so important. And your content needs to have the same approach. Never a goodbye, always a handoff. And with regards to call to actions, this is also pretty important because a cliffhanger keeps people within YouTube where a call to action moves them towards your business. And if you can provide enough value in your content, I'm convinced that you might not even need to be doing call to actions. People know exactly what to do if they want to work with you or if they want to subscribe for email. People are used to clicking links. It's not their first day on the internet, but that means that you've just got to provide enough value for them to want to work with you. So hear me out. You can have the best series structure, pain points, and emotional hooks, but if your viewer isn't in the buyer state and in what we call the passive consumer mode, well, nothing I said in this entire video actually matters. And I'll tell you why in this video right over here. Do you see what I did there?